Okay, so there's this empire in Russia called the Russian Empire. Very creative, right? And in charge of it is this big important guy called Tsar Nicholas II. And he was pretty bad, and the people got mad, and so they overthrew him. And then this guy called Lenin was like, okay, so what if like everyone got paid the same and had the exact same social status and stuff? Yay, that sounds great. There is no way that this can go horribly wrong. So they formed the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is big and it's made up of lots of different countries. Then Lenin got old and died. His replacement was this guy, Joseph Stalin. He had a nice mustache. And there was this other guy in Germany called Hitler who also had a nice mustache. And Hitler was like, yo, I kind of want to take over Europe and kill some people. And so he did. And the Soviets are cool with that at first. But wait, this part that he took over is part of the Soviet Union. And so the War of the Mustaches began, aka World War II. They did some fighting, but then after some fighting here, the Soviets pushed the Germans all the way back to Berlin, where they ended the war. After the war, Europe was divided in two, with half of it being controlled by NATO and half controlled by the Soviets. Then Stalin did some sus things in Iran, and the UN eventually had to vote to kick him out there. This was the part where they realized that Stalin was kind of a jerk. He did a lot of repression, and anytime someone did something he didn't like, they sent him to the gulag. He also made nukes, which was weird, and kind of scared off these guys. And they were like, yo, you're kind of sus. No, we're not. And the US was like, look, these guys are not cool, they cannot be trusted. And so began the Cold War. Then these guys in Korea, half of them wanted to be communist, the other half didn't. And so they fought over it. And I fought over it a lot. Oh, let's meet the sponsors. Hey, it's these two guys. Now they're kind of mad at each other. Then Stalin died, and he's replaced by this guy. And he was like, you know how Stalin was kind of a jerk? That was kind of dumb. Let's fix it. And guess what? He did more repression. These guys are still not cool and cannot be trusted. They spied on each other. And they had some things. Then the Soviets put this ball thing in space. Then they put this dog and this dude in space. Then the Americans put some dudes on the moon, and the Soviets kind of gave up. They both had nukes, but the Soviets had more. Then they put this wall in Berlin to stop people from trying to cross over. The wall was such a controversial subject that both sides rolled tanks up to it to stop each other from fighting over it. Then Cuba tried to turn communist, and the US didn't really like that, so they tried to invade it. Then the Soviets decided to put their missiles there, just because, why not, they're both communists. And so began the Cuban Missile Crisis. They both got ready to fire nukes at each other, and these guys in the submarine were almost about to do this, but the third guy didn't want to. Then the US decided to took their missiles out of Turkey, the Soviets took their missiles out of Cuba. Then they ousted Khrushchev and replaced him with this guy. He believed in mutually assured destruction, meaning that if both sides fought, there would be no end to the war, and both sides would inevitably be destroyed. Then guess what? Vietnam was going to. Half of it was communist, the other half wasn't. Seems familiar, right? And the Soviet Union started supporting half of it. And the Soviet Union started supporting half of Vietnam. The US supported the other half. And guess what? All of it. And the Soviets eventually won. And of course they included the resistance to those. Then they made a bunch more countries fight actually the big one. And by this time both sides were pretty tired of fighting for a bit. So they had another missile crisis, and the Soviets decided to invade Afghanistan again. Then Brezhnev got old and died, and he was replaced by this guy who got old and died, and he was replaced by this guy who got old and died. He was replaced by Mikhail Gorbachev. And Gorbachev wanted to do some more reforms for the better of the Soviet Union and establish better relationships with the West. And also get Pizza Hut. He even tried to make some reforms in the Eastern Bloc. In Germany, they wanted to reunite it, and really wanted to get rid of that damn wall, which had been a pain in their backside for ages. And they finally did, eventually. And so did the rest of the Eastern Bloc, gaining their independence from Soviet control. Now, the dissolution of the Soviet Union is a complicated thing, but I'll try to oversimplify it. So, you remember how the Soviet Union's made up of a bunch of different countries? They all kind of did their own thing. Well, this one guy who became in charge of the Russian Soviet Republic decided to make a secret deal with Ukraine and Belarus to dissolve the Soviet Union. And so he did. He also kidnapped Gorbachev and was like, okay, I have a tank. and so in December of 1991, the Soviet Union was officially and finally dissolved, bringing the Soviet era to an end.